for the rain to stop and take my pain away. Why'd you have to be that mean? Why'd you do me that way? We should know that we won't be any better. Can't you see that we are drifting apart? Is this over? Can this be over now?
1 2 1 2.
I can take it anymore. I don't want to remember. Just wanna let it all go. Waiting for a new day when I won't feel no pain. You will have to let me go so I can be myself again. We should know that we won't be any better. Can't you see that?
All right. Check 1 2. Can you guys hear? Everything okay? All good in the hood? Let me know.
Trying to hold us together. I just want it to stop. Want it to stop.
1 2 1 2. Ay.
Smoke spirals off your cigarette. Door slam to figure silhouette. Come on, say, is this over? Oh, is this over? Is this over? Can this be over now? Be over now. Is this over now? Is this over? Is this over? Can this be over now? Say, is this over?
I don't know about it being over. It started. Hey, Emmy. Miss always texts me whenever I go live. As soon as I press the button, she texts me every week. It never fails. Aloha, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Today, we're going to be doing a live working show because I wanted to show you guys how to do a couple cool new things. So, yeah, that's going to be happening. What's up, Ohio Taka? Good to see that you're here. And, yes, you brought the wifey along with you, Emmy. Happy birthday, Emmy, again. I know if you're like me, you celebrate the entire month because that's what we Virgos do. We need like an entire month to party it up. Unfortunately, we can't party much this go around, but hey, is what it is. It's a little hot in here. No, actually, I'm just take off the jacket because I wanted to flex the Raiders shirt, since we, Las Vegas Raiders now and we winning. Got to say it was popping. All right, so we're going to get the show started. Today, we're going to be just talking about flexing some things up, making the show look happy and bright. Let me just check on all the feeds and make sure everything is working as directed. And let's see. It looks like everybody is slowly but surely coming in. Yeah, Restream was doing something goofy in the beginning, so I had to kind of like tweak the event twice just to make it work. Yeah, it just happens. It's a lot of things going on in all the channels, so it does take time for things to sort of spiral up and do what they're supposed to do. But so far, everything looks good on that end, on the YouTube Vibe. Let me go into the studio. So, Emmy, what were you going to ask me? I didn't read the text because I was typing. You always manage to ask me something crazy. Okay, yeah, it's working. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, which is sort of unheard of. And, yeah, let me just check one other thing before we play the intro. But, yeah, so if you are still sleeping on the concept of doing what you do, yeah, live streaming is it. So you need to bring yourself into the fray. It is, I won't say that it's easy, but it's not complicated. And it won't be complicated, especially if you do what I tell you folks to do and just follow the channel. Because if you follow the channel, I'll basically teach you how to do everything. And you don't have to get crazy. You can start out, like right out the gate, you can start out with just this. All you need is a phone. Like literally, the phone would do it all for you. From there, you can migrate up and step your game up. But reality is, all you need is a phone. Like if you come from just phone alone, you can do quite incredible things. Even I don't have my cable nearby, I don't think. But yeah, even Ecamm, I do have a cable. Ecamm will work with just the phone, like without doing anything else. You can seriously just take the phone, plug it in, like such, and then take the opposite end of said phone and plug it in, like such, and then I'm gonna use Filmic Pro just because I have it. Or actually, I can take that back. I want to use Camo. Why? Camo is probably like the coolest phone app to do this, I think. And it just works really, really well. And then we're going to take the camera here and look, I can just show you so you guys can see. If I was to switch this button, bam, look, we're live. There's Keep It Techie. What's up, fam? I pressed the little button right here. I actually tried to press the image, which is dumb. I pressed the button down here, and right there on the top, Keep It Techie comes up, and I can say, what's poppin'? And then also got to send a shout out to my homie Brian. Look, right there. So, like, you could do this with nothing but a phone. You don't have to get crazy and, like, go out and buy yourself $1 million worth of equipment or anything. I just happen to have all of this laying around because, well, I'm a camera dude. So, camera dudes, we have stuff laying around. So, we could just do that. But something as simple as your phone, you could be, like, rocking. Here, let me do it this way. And then make it in focus and then switch to that. Look, see? Boom, it's just me. Now, my phone image is whack. I would fix that. But hey, you can do all of that with just your phone. So you don't have to get crazy. You can literally start out with just your phone. Of course, right when I did that, my phone decided it wanted to update. So we're going to stop that real quick before it breaks the entire stream playing around with the phone. But just wanted to show you that without doing anything crazy or buying anything expensive, if you want to do this, you could do this sort of right out the gate. Like, is what it is. Before we go any further, it's very important for the brand that I play the intro. So first of all, thank you guys for coming to the show. This show pops off every Tuesday and Saturday at 8 a.m. Hawaiian time. That's 11 in the Californias, 2 p.m. in the New Yorks, and 7 p.m. in Manchester, bloody freaking England. Glory, glory, Man United. Anyway, with the intro, folks. Aloha, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This is Let's Get Live. I am that dude, Doc Rock. And yes, today we're going to do a working show. We're going to talk about a couple, 2-3 things. We're going to talk about, one, I finally got my windscreen for my Podmic. So I'm going to install it, and I'm going to ask you folks. Yeah, we say axe. Don't get it twisted. It's just something we say. It doesn't mean we want to kill you. It's just how it comes out. We're going to ask you folks if you hear the difference. Like the main reason why you want to add a windscreen even when you're not outside where it's windy, is because when you say Peter Piper picked a pepper, pick a Piper peppers, you're not popping your peas when you're popping peas on the mic, because the pea popping sound on the mic can be quite irritating. So the number one thing is to control your plosives. Plosives is when you say P's and B's and the mic goes poof. It's just irritating. So that's one thing. The other thing it should do is it should help you with semblance. Semblance is when Sally sells she sells by the seashore and you have a little bit of extra S in your sound. And some people's voices, now I'm going to do it all the time now, it's going to drive me crazy. And some people's voices, you got lots of semblance. It's just the way your teeth and your tongue were born. I don't have as much semblance because I've learned to control it. I've been an MC for years, and my mom slapped the crap out of me a couple, 2-3 times, and so my teeth got rearranged, and it kind of controlled the semblance. So thanks, Mom. I knew when I was saying stuff crooked out of my mouth that it would come in handy at one point. So that's I could hear it now. It's just driving me crazy. That's two of the key factors as to why you want to get a windscreen on your mic, even if you don't in your head feel you have a lot of semblance or a lot of plosives. You want to cover it up. Now there's a couple, 2-3 types. I got the sock version. The other one is probably on the floor underneath the table here. It's a round circle. It looks like it has a pantyhose over it, but it's a piece of nylon stretchy fabric. And what that does is it breaks up the wind flow. So that kind of helps. Those are some of the great ones. The really good ones you'll see, I believe, if you watch Diana Gladney, she has one. Sean Cannell also uses. It's a Pro Filter. It clips onto the end. And it sort of looks like a metal disc that floats that probably just sounded horrible. It's like a metal disc that floats right above the microphone and you speak through that. Now that one is really good. I haven't seen one yet created for the Podmic, so I didn't get one. But again, I didn't look very hard. When I just looked for a Podmic windscreen, I just thought I'd buy what Rode made because, well, Rode made it. Let me see what Keepateki got to say. He said, I just feel like his avatar is finna yell at me. It said, I was looking to upgrade to the Rode Podmic like you currently have the Rode NT USB. Yeah, first of all, Rode mics, game changer. Absolute game changer. It's something about the Podmic that I haven't even done a full review on it yet, which is crazy because I've been using it for like 2 months, but I haven't done a full review on it, and I don't know why. I've been slipping. I guess I better jump on that. But first of all, they're really hard to come by right now. Before they were in stock, they were everywhere, and then pandemic hit, and everybody bought them. And I believe the majority of the people that bought them because they were $99. They didn't even know whether it was good or not good, right? They just happened to luck up on one of the best $99 mics in the game. If up against less than $150 mics, Rode Podmic can't be faded. Okay, in English, for you non-melanated people, it can't be touched. Like, the Rode Podmic is ace cool boom #1 in this realm under 150. Period, point blank, in the story. Why? They have been making mics forever. And they make mics for all myriad of content creation. And so they kind of set the curves, and this is without getting too complicated. They set the curves and the response and everything based off of podcasting and what's going to come out with podcasting and the type of compressing that podcasting software does. Even podcasters that don't know how to use compression, they kind of built all of that into the tone curve of this mic. They built in a pop filter. So even doing my semblance testing, it probably wasn't as obnoxious as you would think. But I talk off axis because I know better, right? Let me explain that real quick. So this is talking on axis, and then probably if I do this, I sound a little bit like Barry White, right? And then off axis means I shoot across. Oh, that was probably loud. Sorry, guys. This face right here, I shoot across it. ASMR. Are you ASMR people getting freaky yet? Okay, it does nothing for me, but hey, some people into that thing. They say it's relaxing. I don't know about that. Like, they go. Let me stop. I'm losing myself. So because I talk off axis, my wind tends to go that way. So even when I plosive really hard, it doesn't come off the same as if I were to plosive into the end. You know what I mean? So there's that. Anyway, let's crack this baby open. And I'm going to temporarily mute the mic when I put this on as not to drive you crazy. Yes, I said side address, little brother. Weren't you listening to me? I said side address. I'm pretty sure I said that. If I didn't say that, well, then bad words to you. Okay, so this is trippy. A lot of them are just generic foam. What did I do with the other one? I think I might have thrown it away. I got the one that came with my Samsung Q2U, and it's made out of just sponge. And as I was putting it on, the sponge ripped. That is just whack. It's absolutely whack. This is more plasticky feel. nylon as opposed to just sponge nylon, and there's a purpose for that. Number one, the cells on this are much, much larger, and it's probably hard to see because my focus is set for my face, so I'll leave it here. The cells on this are much, much longer. Little brother, shut up. What makes you think I listen to anything you say? Who be texting me? Don't y'all know I'm live right now? Mario? Mario? You cannot text me when I'm watching. You know I have ADD. Don't do that. And I know you were paying attention because you're in the Discord. What's up to my homie Mario Busalex coming to you from the city of Miami, Florida. Pimping. Anyway, so this guy has large cells, and the plasticness of it, number one, it'll let it dry out faster when you have the spittle, which you can't help when you talk. It just comes out. And number two, it will break the wind up a little bit better. So this isn't as generic as the ones that are just made out of foam. Those are not really that good, believe it or not. And if you're a mustachian and you address the mic like you're supposed to, basically eating the foam, your beard hairs will get stuck in it. So anyway, let me mute this real quick and put this on. And what? LTM is in the building? Hold on, let me scroll back. Man, you guys be... Oh, what's up, fam? Hey, he in there. What's up, LT? I didn't know you was here. What's up, Chuck Smith in the building? How you doing? And then I'm running. Hey, unless you want to come and side produce this show, don't be saying what's up to my people. All right, hold on real quick. Let me mute this because this might sound horrible. So you guys have had roughly about 10 minutes of me spewing to know what it sounds like before, and now we're going to check out the after. Big ups to my man EW3 in the building. That's my homie. All right, how's my ASMR sound now? Okay, so first things first, it looks dope, right? Before we do anything, one more second. Everybody hold your ears real quick. Okay. Besides the fact that it will probably sound better and my plosives will be much better if I read to you about the Better Business Bureau and basically talking about people that live in Puxatani, Peter Piper. I only know if Peter Piper picked the pickled peppers, or Peter Piper picked peppers and run rap rhymes. I know that one, of course. Yeah, but that kind of helps with the plosives. I'm sure my plosives sound better. But then also, how is the semblance if I say Sally sold some seashells by the seashores, but we didn't know that Sally was a straight buster and she was selling fake seashells from China? How does that sound? The semblance and the plosives should be much more controlled. But again, above all, it just looks good. And so we have this comment, this fight in the Ecamm community constantly. And I be trying to tell folks, get over yourself. There's a big conversation about mic in the shot, mic out the shot. Mic in the shot will always sound better, and no one cares what you look like. So in the shot, sound good. Out the shot, you have to yell because the mic's all the way to frick over there, dummy. Put the mic in the shot and you can basically whisper. You don't even have to get crazy with it. You can just talk. And then also, you can just do it like DJ Kuda and put the mic right in your face and talk like this so nobody can see you because, you know, you're going to say something crazy. So, yeah, there's a couple, 2-3 ways you can do it. But I think that mic in the shot is fine. People say, oh, well, if the mic is in the shot, it's distracting. If you say something folks want to pay attention to, nothing is distracting. I could be telling you something important. If I could tell you right now in the next 10 minutes how to make $1 million in the next 30 minutes and a naked lady walked behind me, nobody will be see her. Or a naked dude. Nobody will see it. Or a naked penguin. Because if I'm talking to you about how I can guarantee make you $1 million in the next 10 minutes, your eyes will not leave the camera no matter what happens back there. So say something on point, say something interesting, and nobody cares about your mic in the shot. Right? And EW3, my man, he said it, mic in the shot all day. You know what's to be in the shot? That lovely sign you just got. Teddy, oh my God, blast from the past. What up, Teddy? Yo, man, you got to come on the show one day and talk to folks about getting in. My brother is talking about my natural. I don't have a natural anymore. Yeah, okay, let me see. He might have said something important because he's actually smart. He said, side address is like how your ears hear. Someone talking to you in front of you is the sound that you hear just past your ear. Yeah, it makes sense, right? That's another reason why a lot of people from the industry, around a lot of people side address because it is sort of what you hear like. That makes sense. Sometimes you say incredible things. Let's see, make sure we got everybody. Hey, let's see. Natasha is here. She said that I'm hilarious. I can't help myself. My mom dropped me on my head when I was really, really small. Tony Tony said, I don't know, the naked penguin might be a bit distracting. Okay. All right, let's see what y'all say. Tony, that's funny. He said, if we lost the bite from Mike in the shot and we fall down the slippery slope, wake up with IG beautifying filters for live streams. Um, you could actually make them with LUTs, and like Ecamm support LUTs. I believe OBS and all the rest, they all support LUTs. So yeah, you can do the IG filtering just by adding some LUTs to your shot. See, I actually have just the camera correction LUT on at the moment because I have my camera set for Hyperlog Gamma. Hyperlog Gamma 3 gives me a wider dynamic range, and then I put the camera correcting LUT that fixes it, puts it back to normal. Other than that, I haven't done anything because currently in Ecamm, there's not a way to stack LUTs. But yeah, I think I can take the camera correcting LUT, bring it into DaVinci Resolve, stack the other LUTs I want on top of them, then save those as a final LUT, put it back, and then it'll work. But yeah, we could cover that. My man Marshy Fox, he covered it really well. If you just do a search in YouTube under Ecamm for LUTs, and then you also check out, he actually has some LUTs to sell. Yeah, that's just dope right there. Okay. Let's see, my man Teddy says. Teddy said, I love to come on the show. Let's schedule it. Hawaii's ushering a big film industry. Thousands of positions available in January 2021. Oh, snap. You know what I've been slacking on? I haven't made my Z card or, I think I've done enough work to actually get SAG, through commercials and TV shows and whatnot, but I just never did it. I should stop slipping and do it. Yeah, we'll hook up, Teddy. I haven't seen you in a minute, so let's get it. Let's get it popping. Anyway, so one of the things that we were going to talk about today is I also wanted to show you guys. I've been doing some flexing up, the show, getting this all together. Um, Brian wants to know where can he find more about this. Teddy actually has a website where it has all of this stuff on. So yeah, go ahead and Facebook and pop that link, and you guys connect, or you guys both message me, and I'll connect you guys. It'll be dope. So what I've been doing, yes. See, let me do this real quick. Where's my boy DJ Edit when he's supposed to be here with my focus? But I deleted that. I'll put it back. So what I've been doing is I've been blessing up and making some new overlays, and for the longest time we've been talking about doing the overlays in Keynote, and I started on that journey primarily because everybody has Keynote, whether they know it or not. Everybody has Keynote. Let me take a note of this timestamp, 24:30ish. The signal for the extra screen blinked. I am using Ecamm Live Beta, so I got to make sure I let the boys know. All right. If you guys saw that blink twice, let me know. It's really weird that it does that. So, yeah, I got that in my timestamp so I can talk to the boys. So basically, I started out the whole thing doing it in Keynote, well, because everybody has Keynote, right? Like the entire planet, whether you know it or not, Keynote comes with your iPhone, your iPad, your Mac. You can just download it and roll with it. And I did that. And if you don't know, check out my boy Bradley, and Bradley Teaches. He shows you, and I got a bunch of videos on my channel as well that show you how to use Keynote to make animated overlays, to make these frame overlays. My boy B. St. Clair came through and he needed some overlays for his show. And yeah, B, I did those in Keynote just so that I could send you the file that you could edit. But if I had if I was making them like for permanent stage and you have Illustrator, I would rather do them in Illustrator. It's a little bit cleaner, a little bit more accurate. There's some other cool things that you can do with that, right? So, uh, in this particular setup here, what I'm doing is I'm the reason why I like making an Illustrator is because I can put them all on the board at the same time. And then let's just say I want to add a new one. I can just drag one of these art panels. You know, they call them art boards. I don't know what I just said. I can basically drag an art board over and create a brand new one and start from there. What did you do that? You forgot to hold down the other key, dummy. There we go. So yeah, I can bring one over and just make another copy and keep going to work without, ruining the work that I've already done. But it also allows you to keep everything super well aligned because you are working from basically the script of what you already started. So I've been thinking about, like, when I'm showing you a video like this, instead of having it super plain, I can have it where it actually, puts a frame on deck. So in doing that, I'm going to jump back to the camera real quick. I'm going to open up preview because I save all of these as PNG, and then I'm open up preview and show you how you knock this baby out. Now, in theory, I could save it directly out of Illustrator and it's good to go. But I find the benefit of bringing it into preview first is you just have a little bit more control and you don't have to fight Illustrator for what's going to be a hole and what's not going to be a hole. So there's the overlay image that you guys saw me creating real quick. I'm going to go ahead and grab this little button here. This is known as the markup editor. You see this in your iPhone. Most people don't know what it's for, but I can grab Quick Alpha and I can make a hole right there. And then, do I want to leave those spots? No, I will erase those spots. Take that right there. And then, undo that. Okay, so what you do, you basically drag the mouse in here, and whatever turns, red is going to be disappearing. Okay, and once I have that finished, I can grab these little pieces and just press delete because I don't want those marks on my screen. And I should have actually taken those out of Illustrator, and I didn't realize that I didn't. But now, that is, when I save this PNG now, that is officially a hole. Okay, so what I would be able to do at this point is, let's go ahead and create a new scene. All right, and then so there's my camera, and then I'm going to take this piece and drag it into Ecamm real quick. And then so camera's there. There's my little pip. So now what I want to do with this scene is I want to switch to screen share. And then I want to say I want to rock. Let's just pick, we'll pick preview for a second. And then what I have to do now is move preview into position by turning off the zoom app window. And then as I move preview, it's going to kind of come where I want it to go. And then I want to add on my pip. And then put my pip on top. Let me hide this for a second. There we go. Then I can put this back on. And so you can see in my pip where I'm located. That's not helpful. Let's try Edge. What's going on in Microsoft Edge? There you go. That's better. So I'm going to take my pip right here and I'm going to turn it over. So I want to go tall. Put it right there. Grab the edge. Pull it out. So now you guys can see me, right? And on this guy, where my Microsoft Edge is, all I have to do is move the window in the frame so that it, looks sort of like how you would see it if you see it. Like, this is much harder for people that are dealing with a single monitor setup. It works so much better if you have a 2-monitor setup like I do because it's easy to sort of see what you're doing. Let me get that to about right there. And then grab the bottom and pull it down until it disappears underneath the MacBook bezel. And bam. So now I can show you anything I want to show you off of here. Like, let's pull up something on the old Amazon. And bam. That's basically how it looks, right? I was just checking out new lights from Neewer that are similar to what I have over here, but instead of costing $1,500, you can get the smaller guy. Well, actually, the smaller one is more related to the $500 light, and the larger ones, which are like $150, are more related to the $1,500 one. But yeah, you basically can do something like that, and then this will just beef up your overlay game, make your whole situation just looks a little bit cooler. All right, let's see. Oh, it's these guys. No, Robert. Oh, yes, it is. Sorry. Good answer, Robert. I didn't hear it in my monitor, which is really weird. Thank you for catching that out. Okay. And then Alicio said plug and play templates for time savers. Yeah. Yeah. That's how you do it. So the cool thing about doing it in Keynote is everyone has Keynote and it completely be done. But it's crazy for me to have a Adobe Creative Cloud subscription and not use it for that. And a lot of people do because they have, to use Photoshop and Lightroom. And then so if you bought the entire Creative Cloud, you actually already have Illustrator. And then so to not use it for what it's worth just out of fear or whatever is kind of crazy, right? And if you just use Illustrator, it's like $20 a month, as you can see down here. If you have like the whole Creative Suite, that's all of the apps, it's like 52. If you're a student, it's like 40% off of that. So yeah, I already have Creative Cloud. I've been using it for years. I teach classes in it, whatever. So I'm like, I'm going to use that instead of Keynote because I know I can get way more granular with my template game. And then so in the process of beefing up the show, I am taking things like, Illustrator back here and turning it into, much better overlays. So when I come into a situation like this, like I still have to build my guest up because we do have guests now and, things like that. So yeah, like for this particular task of making overlays, to me, Illustrator's better than Canva, Keynote, like Easel, all of that stuff that's out there. Now Easel's dope, but Illustrator's designed for this. Like what you've been watching for years that the dudes on like ESPN or whatever using is done in Illustrator and Photoshop. So if you have that on your plate already, just create them in Illustrator or Photoshop. Photoshop will do this exactly the same because they now support artboards. The thing that I like about doing it in Illustrator or doing it in Photoshop, and I guess I'll just add that because it would basically be this exact same, just pixel based versus vector based. When you're able to see like all of your scenes laid out as a single thing. Like I guess in Keynote you could do it by looking at the side. Oh, sorry, you're looking at the side, but to me it's not quite the same. So yeah, there's that. So if you're just joining us now, one of the things that we talked about is we are going to dive into making a multi-action overlay with the Stream Deck. So we're going to dive into that real quick. Before I do that, I had one other thing that I wanted to show you guys before I got that far. And I think I was talking to Alicio about these the other day. Now I just know where I put them. Hold up. It's in the envelope here. Hey, that's that half. What'd I do with the other half? I put it in here somewhere so I could do it on the show, and I don't remember what I did with it. Anyway, I will show you these. So I was talking to Alicio about these the other day. If I heard you say it while I was typing. That's funny. Yes, June. Raster. Oh, I see. I always gotta remember to do that. It's very important, folks, to learn the difference between raster graphics and vector graphics. And it's all of about a 3-second conversation, but you're amazed at how many people still do not have their head wrapped around it. But basically, the concept consists of, if this were a image, actually I can show you real quick by going back to Illustrator. Okay, let's put Illustrator in the front. Here's the idea. So you're looking at this, and I am currently at a 25% zoom. If I were to scroll this guy in, and I'm taking it all the way to, I am at a 3200% zoom right now, right? And nothing changes, right? No pixelations. You can see the edges are crystal clear. Even when we get down in here into the letters, the edges are crystal clear. Nothing breaks up. Nothing, right? Look, I can keep going until the computer gets mad. I'm at a 34,000% zoom. If my head wasn't in the way, let me move it real quick. Down here in the bottom, it might be very hard to see, but it says 34,000% zoom, and that corner is sharp as a tack. Okay, put my head back where it goes, and then let's bring it back out to the regular screen. Okay, and there we go. Now, if I were to switch this over to preview and show you the same basic image, and then I use my Command Plus to zoom in, see how bad this rips. And I got to move to the edge so that we can stay. It's already starting to break up. Let me grab this edge. You see the pixelation in the MacBook right there? It's already starting to break up. And if I were to look at my zoom currently, I can't tell in Keynote what it is. I can't tell in preview what it is, but I only hit the button like 4 times. So let's say at a 400% zoom. Let me take that up. Okay, I'm at probably like 500-600% zoom, and already it's pixelating because that is a raster graphic. It's pixels. Everything is based off pixels. Pixels are square. Some people don't get this. Pixels are square. So what happens is you start to see everything break up. But if I go back into the vector format, which is in Illustrator, and even if I were to zoom into that same corner, there's no breaking up. That's the exact same corner of the exact same MacBook, and there's no breaking up involved because this is a vector graphic. I can zoom into that guy forever, and it doesn't break up. So that's the primary basics between raster and vector. Now, I do all of my vectors in Illustrator just because that's my thing. When I'm working on my laser stuff, I do everything in CorelDRAW. I absolutely hate CorelDRAW. It's a pain in the butt. But Charles brings up a good point. When I send vectors to, I don't know what the person is going to open it up in, I save it as an SVG, scalable vector graphic, and that's good because when you do, like, say, this is completely left, but if you're doing graphics for your website or whatever and you do them in SVG, they will scale properly. When that's why when you look at a website on a phone and you look at it on a computer, the graphics are all good because designers nowadays use a SVG instead of a JPEG or PNG because it scales better. Anyway, so that's why I like to create my overlays in Illustrator versus Keynote 2 is because I'm working in vector and I know that I can scale them to infinite and it won't look like crap. So there's that. So anyway, Alicio, this is what I was talking to you about. Let me check. Thank you, June. Let me check Edge and see what it says. It looks like it's back to normal now, I think. It's getting there. All right, it looks like it might have chilled out. Let's hope for the best. Anyway, so these are SpinFit adapters. These are basically little jammies you can put onto your AirPods or the other ones that I have floating around here. I literally just pulled them out the package and stuck them probably in the other half of the office. They would fit on the end of your in-ear monitors. And what's cool about SpinFits is the way that they sort of adjust to fit in your ear. So these were the guys I was saying, Alicio, to put on your in-ear monitors that'll make them comfortable. I bought these other ones for my AirPod Pros. It makes the ends fit better, but they're basically modified silicone tips for the end of your headphones that purposely bend in the ear properly so that you get a better seat, not going to fall out. Will really help you with your what's the word I'm looking for? Noise canceling or transparency mode, because you'll get a much better seal and you'll have less things popping in and out of your ear as you go. Okay, so jumping back to, we're going to talk about this configuring the Stream Deck for the multi action. All right, so let me get to that. Thank you, Junsky. Actually, let's do it like this. Okay, he done it. And let's change this to say Stream Deck. Yes. Oh, he's so fancy now. Yes. This little graphic I got here on the side is a mashup between my icon, which was created by my little brother June, and then my homie Marshall Fox did the Let's Get Live Wi-Fi head thing. So thank you guys. I've been too busy to play around with it myself. So I appreciate it. Anyway, so you can see here on my Stream Deck, I have a button laid out for title, and I have a button laid out for focus. I'm able to switch between scenes. Here's how you can tell it to run a particular scene. So let's say I was to click here, I will click on the bottom, and it's pulling all my screens, and I'll run the like share. I'll connect it to that button, and then if I were to go ahead and press that button, boom, it'll run the like share screen just like that. See how cool that is? All right, gangster. So we come back here. Now, the goal was, if you listen to my like share screen, there was a sound that played that was supposed to symbolize basically the little bubbles popping up on the bottom. Well, my buddy Chris Wood was saying, instead of doing it that way, because it becomes, I don't know, a little bit harder to manage or whatever, you would go into a situation where you would build a multi-action, which is this guy. So you double click on that, and it says, number one, I want to run a scene. So let's go ahead and pick a scene. And we're going to do let's just do the just camera scene. Okay. And then we want to play an audio file, which will be the swoosh sound like this. Okay. And then we're going to tell it that after you do that, I want to jump to the next scene. Now, when you see next scene, it basically means the scene that's under the one that you just played. So if I was on this run scene and I have my just camera scene, right? Keep it taking, it don't work like that, damn it. Let me I gotta put this on screen because it's funny. You cannot tell it, hey dog, look, there's a steak, don't eat it. The dog gonna be like, man, F you, I'm gonna eat the steak. So Keep It Techie said he was talking about my script writing joint. I'll pull that up for you in just a second, fam. I appreciate you. I wish these people would shut up. Let me mute this. Sorry, my ear is binging because my friends are texting. Anyway, so as I look at this particular setup, I would run the scene, and then it would play the sound, and it could go to the next scene. Now, there's some other things that you could add to this, and you could basically add anything from the side down here. So let's say I was working on fixing my ending, right? And then so what we're going to do is run the like, comment, and subscribe scene. We're going to play the swoosh sound when it comes in, and then we're going to play the next scene. And let's say for this next scene, actually I want to change that. I want to change this to also run scene. So let me get rid of this. And this run scene one, I'm going to set it up for play the intro, because the intro is technically the outro. Okay. And then after it does that, what I'm going to want to play is my end scene. So I'm going to go ahead and add one more. I'm going to add one more, which is run the scene. Okay. And on that one, I'm going to run the end screen. Okay. And then I'm going to take that scene and add one more. And then I will run the end card. Okay. Now, after I run the end card, I'm going to stick in a delay in a second, but then I'm going to do the last step, which will be to end the stream. And where'd it go? There is one of these guys, which is for in the stream, or I guess I can toggle the go live. Let me see if that works. Nope, that's the go live. I don't have the end button, but in theory, it's the toggle to this is finished. And since I'm already live now, in theory, it should finish. So now all I have to do is go back up to the Stream Deck stuff and stick in some delays. So the like, comment, and subscribe is going to run. And let's say I'm going to run that guy for just a couple of seconds. So we'll stick in the delay. And we would set that delay for basically a second, right? Let's set it for 3 seconds. All right. And then it's going to, after that, it's going to run the end scene. And I want that to play for, say, like another 3 to 5 seconds. We'll set that one for 5 seconds. So just change the first number to 5, Doc. Make your life easier. And then it's going to run the end card. Now, I just happen to know that YouTube like their end cards at about 20 seconds. So I'm going to change this to 19. And then it would, at the end, it would go live. At the end, it would go live. So basically, if I press this button now, instead of being just, pulling up a scene like you normally do, this is going to run through that entire sequence and then end the show. So that's the way we're going to leave it set up. And basically all you have to do from there is probably change your icon, and that's easy to do. When you click over here, you can grab basically any PNG you create. You could create it in Illustrator. You can download them. There's tons of Stream Deck button packs all over the web. You can download those guys. You just drag the image onto here, and it will end your show, or whatever you want it to be. So there's a myriad of things you can do with it like that. Basically, you can customize it. You can pull it from a file, or you can do this thing right here, which is called create a brand new icon, which will take you to the Stream Deck website. And I have to switch this to Edge. Edge, damn it. There we go. And then I shouldn't have moved that. One thing about when you use these little overlay windows, you have to remember you can't move your windows, which is irritating. I know, but hopefully they'll fix that soon. So this is the creator guy. It's a little studio that they have built in, and you can go and compose basically your own buttons for anything on your Stream Deck. So like, not that I'm going to use this one, but if I wanted to have a button that would trigger my hue lights in the back there, I can do something like make this as a button. And you can kind of stack things, add your own. You can use the follow me as a way to bring up your Twitter scrolls. They have just tons and tons and tons of stuff down in here. You could put on the football for when the Raiders win, and you can stack them, so you don't have to just like leave it their sort of generic thing. Now you got to remember, you're going to see this really tiny. It's going to look like that, like this piece over here. But using this key creator that's built in the Elgato, you can kind of just make anything. Like, this is pretty fantastic stuff that they got popping here. And I do like the fact that you can sort of stack them up and sort of create your own type of thing. Now, there's a bunch of tutorials on how to make them in Photoshop. Again, you could probably make them in Canva. You're really just starting out with a square. And if you need any transparency, you save in PNG. And now the other thing that you can do is you can set up the button so that the button has two different looks, like when it's engaged and when it's not engaged. So if you happen to be in a situation where you're working with the app or you're working with the button that has a toggle, then you will see that the button has two different modes. So let's see, can I replace one of these real quick? Like, okay, here's one called the hotkey switch. So I'm going to replace that right here because I don't need that right now. And these are your two icons. So as you're checking on the bottom down here, hold on, let me move this up so that you can see. There we go. And then let's zoom into that. Ta-da! So this button is a toggle mode. So there's two different icons, one for off and one for on. So if you happen to have anything in your setup that is more of a toggle, you can do that. Now, the other thing that's cool too on the Stream Deck, you can see here, this one just pulls in you sort of viewer counts. So that part of it is cool. But, besides, one thing that's cool, Ecamm does have this sort of built-in stuff. The latest update for Ecamm changed what you see in Stream Deck. So this side over here, like this was recently updated to add new things that you can do. Like you could add your screen share mode. You can hide the last comment. Like if you got your comment running too far, this one is the viewers is sort of built in. I don't really need that one, so I could change that to something else. Here's a cool one. You can give yourself a cough button. So if you know you're about to say something dumb, you just replace that, and right in the middle of talking, you hear me, but then now you guys can hear me, and then I'm still talking this. That was dumb, I know. so yes, in your Stream Deck, you can basically give yourself a mute button, which will come in handy. I should definitely leave that one over there because of the way that I'm always putting things in and out. I'm always switching to screens where I accidentally mute myself, so having the button to turn your mic back on really quickly is quite handy. I don't believe in the mute button situation there is a way to select what you're muting, but you can change the text on what that mute button says. You can make it like larger. Again, I'm not a fan of this sort of icon set that they have for the mute button, so I would quite possibly change it to something different or just add a pop of color. Like this is where you would go back into your Stream Deck creator, in the website, what I was just showing you, which you can get to just by pressing this little down arrow and say create new icon. It will jump to the Stream Deck. I say that all the time. It will jump to the Stream Deck editor in Edge, and you could create yourself, say, a brand new sort of mic icon that works a little bit better for your vision. Like these, they got blue. I like that. And just pick something different, right? So that's a cool way to have your thing set up. So yeah, it's not hyper difficult to go on the Stream Deck and do stuff. I think people just don't think it all the way through. I don't think people respect the power that you have in the Stream Deck for what you can do with it. So they literally buy it. I say they meaning people, literally buy it and use it the way that it came out of the box. And you don't have to do that. Like you can get in here and get jiggy with it with like this multi-action setup right here. And because Felicia just came to class, I'll explain to her what I did. I got this first one is going to run my scene, which is basically going to pull up my camera only. And then it's going to play this sound. And then from that sound, it's going to play my intro. Actually, I'm going to change this one from just camera to like, comment, and subscribe. There we go. All right. So it's going to play the sound when that pops up. And then it's going to go and play the intro, which is also the outro. It's going to wait for 3 seconds. And then it's going to run my end card screen, which looks like this. See, that one is muted. I had to remember to press the button. That is basically just going to, remind you guys of the show times. Okay. And then from there, it's going to delay that for only like 5 seconds because it don't take that long to figure out where you live and what time you need to show up to class on time, Felicia. And then it's going to play the end card, which looks like this, right? And then that leaves me space to go in after this is all over and put in my headshot right there and the 2 videos that YouTube wants you to see next, right? So it's going to do that. And then that's going to delay for 19 seconds because YouTube likes it to be 20 seconds, right? So I give it a little bit shorter. I don't mind that it overlaps. And then at the very end, it's going to press the go live button, which is already pressed right now. It's live. When it presses it the second time, it should finish. In theory. And if it doesn't work, I will just make a custom one. Like I'll make an Apple script that tells it to press finish the screen and then that covers it. So in theory, whenever I were to press this multi-action button, it should just run all of that stuff in stream. Boom. See, there you go. I just did that where it puts my graphic up and plays the sound. That's how you do it. So basically, multi-action is extremely powerful. You can use it for a myriad of things. And it's a good way to get your Stream Deck going. Now, earlier in the Ecamm community, Brian St. Clair brought up the question about using the Stream Deck mobile app. The Stream Deck mobile app is incredible. It's basically the same thing as having a Stream Deck. I don't know, like there's a catch-22 between dedicating your entire iPhone to running the Stream Deck mobile app or an entire iPad to that versus just getting a Stream Deck straight. Like, I get the idea. In the beginning, everyone thinks like, oh, if I use my iPhone or my iPad as my Stream Deck, I'm saving money because I'm not buying a Stream Deck. But when it comes to your stream, this is a very powerful thing. It's powerful as an extra camera. It's powerful as a way to interact with comments. It's powerful as a soundboard. To me, those are more valuable than, I guess, using it as a Stream Deck. If you have an extra one on deck, no pun intended, that's fine. Use an extra one. Like I have a 8. If you have an extra one laying around like this 8, take the 8, set up the Stream Deck app. Maybe you can use it. But again, it's something very tactile, not tactical. It's something very tactile about pressing the button and having the button do what you want it to do. Like it's something very tactical about in the middle of just pressing this button and you're going to mute and then it comes back. But grabbing the phone, picking it up, waking it up, pressing the button, I don't know. Like I get it. Get in where you fit in. If you can't swing, spending $250 on a Stream Deck right now, don't buy it. Right? Actually, that's the big one. The little one is $150. I don't even remember now. It's been so long. I got this thing when it first came out, so I don't even remember how much it costs. Let's see. I'm looking it up real quick. Look, I made new screens, so let's play the new screen while we look it up real quick. And let's switch this bad boy back to Edge. Ba-ching! All right, let's see. If you go shop now, yeah, it's 150 for the small one, and the Big Daddy, which is like 32 buttons. The small one is 15 buttons. The Big Daddy is 32 buttons. Why that image didn't change? What's wrong with you, Elgato website? Wake up. There we go. There you go. And yeah, the Big Daddy is 250. So yeah, I don't know. There's just, to me, there's something about the tactile buttons. And my brother says, pick ching, real tactile buttons you can hit and feel, have, and not have to look at. Yeah, that's true. Because, like, one thing about these 15, once you know where they are, you can just press them by muscle memory. And I've seen people press the wrong button on occasion, but nah, like, it kind of just starts to fit in. My problem with muscle memory on my buttons, though, is I'm forever tweaking it. Like, I'm forever moving things around, adding buttons, removing buttons. Like, yeah. So, but once you have your show set up how you want it, like, I guess because my show is teaching you how to do a show, I tweak it constantly. Like, I'm forever in here changing stuff. But once you got it down and you know what your thing is, it's so much nicer to be able to just, without taking your eye off the audience, just press a button. And 15 buttons is very easy to Helen Keller it, slide your fingers over and realize that you're pressing the right button because there's only 15. 32, that might be a little bit more of a challenge. It depends on where you are in the noggin skills. I was going to say age, but I didn't want to give my little brother any more ammunition than he already has, jerk. So, yeah, I think in general, like, Stream Deck, going back to Brian's question about using the mobile app versus not using the mobile app, the one advantage the mobile app could possibly bring in the fray, if you have another person in your studio, right? Say you have an assistant producer or whatever, they could trigger stuff from the mobile app. But yeah, I don't know. I won't say I'm not a fan because I ran and raved about it when it first came out. But the mobile app reminds me of the conversations we have about Android versus iOS. Android always brings out these features first, and everyone's all excited because it sounds like what you're going to use, and it sells a metric crap ton of phones, and nobody really does it. Like, I know hundreds of people with notes, and rarely do you see them pull the pen out and write with the pen. They just don't. But everyone was like, oh, Note is better because it has a pen. Yeah, you don't really see people using it like that. It's just not a thing, right? I mean, there's some. Anecdotally, of course, you can always find some, but there's not as many as one would think. So, yeah, it's one of those things where its feature sounds good on paper. When you do it in real life, when you do it in practical, it doesn't match. Like grabbing your phone, waking it up, looking at stuff, looking at what to press. I don't know. To me, it just doesn't have that je ne sais quoi. It doesn't have that. I don't even know how to say it. It just doesn't have the same feel. Like, and a lot of this stuff, once you get it down, it goes by feel. Even rocking something like the Ecamm, it goes by feel. Like, you got to know where all these buttons are without looking at them. Like, on a mixer, you could take the most talented DJ and you put him in front of a mixer that's not the mixer that he's used to mixing on, and it throws off his game. Because you just know what buttons are without looking. Like, you're here, you reach over, you grab, you hit the dent, you know exactly where it is, right? So you don't have to do that. So you know that this is, you know where it is on your mixer. You go to a guest place, you got to look. The first thing you see every DJ do when they step into a mix spot is they stare at the mixer and try to figure out where the buttons are real quick. So yeah, that's my idea on the Stream Deck Mobile. It's a great app if you don't have a Stream Deck. Is it a substitute for Stream Deck? Absolutely. Bad words, absolutely not. The real deal is the way to go. All right. I hope that handled it. I hope that wrapped it up. I hope that explained a bunch of stuff that I wanted to explain. There has been some newsy news. There has been some changes. You know what, brother? You're 100%. Yes, my brother says it's probably why I like mechanical keyboards. I do. If you guys don't know, this is what people hear all day long around me. See? Because I like mechanical keyboards, and I shall not lie. Um, you know why? I thought it was because we came from the old school IBM Selectric days, but nah, it's just something about that feel. Like it has a little click when I press the button, which the soft Apple keyboard doesn't have a good click. It has a fake click. Yeah. So yeah, I don't like it. I gotta have my clicky click. Anyway, so we're gonna wrap this joint up. As you guys know, every Tuesday and Saturday, 8 a.m. Hawaiian, 11 San Diego, 2 New York, and 7 lovely England. That's where I be. If you haven't already subscribed to the situation, you're going to want to subscribe to the situation, and you subscribe to it at youtube.com/DocRock. I am probably going to peel away from Facebook maybe like in August, just due to the fact that Facebook is not going to like my music. So even though I have license to play music like this in the background, yeah, YouTube is cool with that. Facebook is saying that they're not. So it really depends on how Facebook treats the streams for those of us that like to play music in the back of our streaming. So it might just be a situation where it has to become YouTube only type of situation. Okay. What else we got to speak on? All of the things that I use to produce this joint can be found here at docrock.live/kit. That is my kit page. That's where I put everything, and you can find any equipment I'm using. So I'm adding new stuff all the time. I just found 3 brand new dope light kits that just hit the market. I'll put them on, and I'll probably buy a couple and then bring them in and show you guys what they be about. But yeah, if you're looking to get started, you're looking to see what kind of equipment or whatever you need, or you're just curious what I use to do this show, boom, hit up the kit page. It's all in there. All right. Now, I use Ecamm. This link right here will get you started with Ecamm. It's free trial of Ecamm. Some fantastic news. I can explain it to you. Ecamm beta is about to be updated. So if you haven't already joined the Ecamm community, jump on. If you haven't joined the Ecamm beta group, jump on. The Ecamm beta situation, I am moderator of the Ecamm beta group now, which is kind of epic. So if you come in and you get yourself Ecamm trial, you playing around with it, you see what's popping, you like it. Also, don't forget to join the beta group, because in the beta group, you get to check out some of the new features that they're bringing in. And these guys update all the time. They just be on their game when it comes to, adding features to make Ecamm better. There's a free situation, there's a standard situation, there's a pro situation. You get in where you fit in. But I would tell you, if you're on a Mac, I used Wirecast for decades. I used BeLive when it first came out because I hated Wirecast. And then my buddy Tofri got me turned on to OBS. And then so I did the OBS swag for a hot minute. And then bam, after Ecamm, it's like I know how to do all of that stuff. I have the skills to pay the bills, but to me, it's not worth fighting your situation constantly to make things work the way you want it to work. I like the fact that Ecamm just works right out of the box. Like you turn it on and you're good to go. Like things just flex. So that is really, really good about that. Let me do one other thing, because Keep It Techie reminded me, because that's my dude. He's always on point. He said, if you finna get in and you're going to do this, check out, boom, this Epidemic Sound. This is my link to Epidemic Sound. I don't know why I can't hit the center with this one. Let me stop. Epidemic Sound is also great. This track comes from Epidemic Sound. The track you hear in the intro comes from Epidemic Sound. You watch any of my YouTube videos, all of those tracks come in from Epidemic Sound. So those guys are the best. They got awesome tracks, so make sure you get in there and check that out. Now, if you haven't already done so too, this is the link to the newsletter. Go and sign yourself up for the newsletter. I will be putting out lots of stuff there, and that's going to be epic. And last but not least, let me do one more. Let's copy one more and get you started. If you are looking for cool ways, actually two more. I screwed up. If you're looking for cool ways to support the channel, this is one. This is my Amazon.com shop link. It takes you again into the Amazon store. You can, if you're going to Amazon just to buy some underwear, you can start here and then click through, and hey, they'll give me a little kickback for the draws that you purchase. That's just something cool about the way Amazon works. But I also put in, my recommendations. If I find something dope on Amazon, I'll like save it in my shop because that's how it goes. I do have merch coming out soon. Again, thanks to Marshall and my brother. And then lastly but not least, if you haven't done so and you're looking for a way to support the show, I just started the Patreon. I haven't really pushed it yet, but I think I got to, because I want to be able to do some more cool stuff with the show. Like I want to be able to bring on a guest and then take them through process together. Like if you're trying to work something out and you don't really have it, you got your mic and camera set up, hey, maybe we could do it together live on the air so we're helping other people out. Because here's my secret, folks. People are like, how do you learn all of this stuff? As soon as I learn it, I would forget it. And a lot of you guys do that. A lot of you guys learn something, and then right after, you're like, man, what was that? I just learned it. My secret, I learned this eons ago. If you learn something today and you teach 3 other people in that same day, you'll never forget it. Because once you teach it, it sticks in your head better. So half the reason why I do this show is I'm teaching you guys stuff that I learned as a way to stay on point, and I find it, number one, it's a very unselfish thing to do. And as a Virgo, that's just sort of built into us. But yeah, it's a good way to make things anchor into your brain. So when you learn something, if you learned anything from this today and it was cool and helpful, teach it to somebody. And if you don't feel you have the skills to do that, send them here. Send them over to the channel, and then we'll make sure that we get them set up. We'll teach them how it's done, because it is what it is. So again, that's the secrets. Like this, subscribe, share it with some people, because that'll help. That helps me, it helps you, it helps them. You're helping everybody out. So I appreciate you guys for being here. Don't forget, we do this every Tuesday and Saturday, 8 a.m. Hawaiian, 11 Pacific, 2 Eastern, and 7 in the UK. Well, I'll see you guys soon. Thank you guys so much for being here. And now let's see what happens when we press the finishing screen button. Aloha no kako. Let's run the intro, which is also the outro.
Oh yeah, this could all be over. We're not okay. Shattered glass everywhere. Tears of rage. Waiting for the rain to stop and take my pain away. Why'd you have to be that mean? Why'd you do me that way?